Across the fence, think globally, act locally, and eat chocolate. Vermont food producers are finding unique ways to make a taste of Vermont taste even better. Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. I'm Judy Simpson. Holidays, birthdays, well, let's face it, any day is a good time for chocolate. We may not be able to grow cacao trees in the Green Mountains, but that doesn't mean we can't find ways to get some of Vermont in our chocolate. An entrepreneur at the University of Vermont has found that the best way to support farmers, curb pollution, and save a threatened species is with chocolate. Across the Fence's Rebecca Gollin has the story.
Charles Kirshner doesn't say the kinds of things you would expect to hear from a chocolatier. When talking about his growing chocolate company, he might say something like,
if you go into a room and you yell out carbon sequestration, I'm sure not many people's faces would be lit up and get very excited.
And if you ask him about how he got into the business, it would include this.
After my Peace Corps experience, came to the University of Vermont for a master's in applied economics, and then continued on to a PhD in forestry.
In other words, talking to Kirshner can make for some unexpected connections. For example, when Kirshner talks about his business, the link between carbon sequestration, economics, forestry, and chocolate is not immediately clear. But there is a connection between them, and that connection is for the birds.
There's been a unique partnership we've developed between land trusts in the Northeast, businessmen in the Dominican Republic, and actually investing in habitat to protect a migratory bird called the Bicknell's thrush. This bird flies every year thousands of miles from Vermont to the Dominican Republic, and overwinters in the Dominican Republic, returns to Vermont, Adirondacks in the Northeast for breeding season.
That's right. Kirshner makes chocolate to save birds. The roots of the project stretch back to the time he spent as a Peace Corps volunteer in the Dominican Republic.
So my assignment was to work with small-scale producers in chocolate production, so improving post-harvest fermenting and post-harvest production techniques.
Kirshner was stationed in a small village in the northeast mountainous region of the country, where he experienced the area's economic dependence on chocolate, as well as the biodiversity features that make the area, especially cacao farms, uniquely important to the Bicknell's thrush. As Kirshner neared the end of his service, he wanted a way to stay connected to the area.
I remember we were with a bunch of community members around me, and we were passing coconut trees and cacao trees, and thinking, wow, this would be really neat to bring this project full circle. So how neat would it be to work with the farmers in the Dominican Republic, but also make the chocolate and share that experience.
In the years since then, Kirshner has partnered with a number of people and organizations, from ornithologists at the Vermont Center for Eco-Studies to Dominican government and business representatives. He has also been working towards his PhD in forestry, which includes identifying cost-effective conservation areas. In the small amount of free time he has left, he's been perfecting his chocolate recipe.
Oh, the color's great. Yeah.
With cacao beans from a farming partner in the Dominican Republic.
Stop.
That brings us here, to the New World Commercial Kitchen and Bakery in Winooski.
When that melanger is going, you smell the chocolate outside. So we have people that will come in asking, where's the chocolate? Where's the chocolate?
Mativier works with a variety of small producers, and with her husband has a line of salsas and drink mixes. Like Kirshner, she knows about getting a small business off the ground.
You know, when you're starting out in your own home and you're in a stock pot and one pot makes 12 jars, and then you go to 20-gallon steam kettles, you know, where you're making 10 to 20 cases, you know, at a whack. That's a big difference.
Mativier rents this space to producers like Kirshner by the hour. She also helps companies to make, package, and develop their products. The business is expanding. The kitchen stays busy through word of mouth. Kirshner found them when he needed a new place to work on his recipe.
When I returned to the U.S., I started tinkering with chocolate making in my house, and my wife finally kicked me out of the kitchen. What they do is they crack open those pods, and then out come the beans. They usually take them by mule.
Most chocolate makers start with chocolate that has already been partially processed. His partnership with the cacao farmers means that Kirshner gets the beans at an earlier stage, which allows him to play a much larger part in how his beans are processed.
What we do is we take the beans after they've been grown and then are fermented and dried, and then ship them here to the US. And then we go through a long process of sorting through those beans, roasting them, grinding them, winnowing them, and then putting them into a melanger, which is a granite wheel system that essentially takes the nib form and brings it down to liqueur. And then we temper, pack it, and sell it.
Making chocolate Kirshner's way is quite a process, but it's a labor of love that Kirshner says preserves the distinct notes of cherry and citrus that are unique to his blend.
It's kind of like a farm to table on an international level.
Matt Byrong owns Three Squares Cafe in Vermont. A longtime friend of Kirshner's, Byrong is now also a business partner. He's working with Kirshner to develop the chocolate.
I mean, if you told me a year ago I was going to be involved with, like, a 1,000-acre cacao farm in the Dominican Republic with half of it being habitat preservation for an endangered Bicknell's thrush, I would have told you you're out of your mind. But here we are having this conversation.
The two have spent countless hours in the kitchen.
At this point, I'm kind of an aspiring Willy Wonka. I am processing the beans that come to us from the farm. They get to me fermented and dried. So we do the roasting, the cleaning, the processing into the base chocolate, and finally the tempering and molding them into bars for resale.
The bars are sold locally in Burlington and Winooski, and Byrong is also experimenting with the chocolate as an ingredient. He uses it in the usual places, such as pastries and hot drinks, but also in some more unusual recipes.
We're integrating it in with specials right now. We've been messing around with a few different mole recipes. We've been using it in some stews. It's become a part of our base recipe for our various chilies.
Reaction to both the chocolate and the project has been positive. In Vermont, where the chocolate is being sold, as well as in the Dominican Republic, where the farm that Kirshner works with has been designated as a land reserve.
The idea is that we're not just trading a commodity, and you're not just eating a commodity, that it is more connection to place and connection to food and products that you can consume, and you're not just eating them, you're understanding where they come from, and you get to know the farmers. Not everybody can go to the Dominican Republic and have the same experience I had. They can at least partake in it by eating fantastic chocolate.
Helping to make the world a better place by making chocolate. Charles Kirshner has his recipe for success. In Winooski, I'm Rebecca Gullen with Across the Fence.
Well, as you might imagine, Kirshner chocolate sells quickly. The distinctive label with the K on the front also shows a Bicknell's thrush, which is on the top of the K. If you'd like this made bean-to-bar in Vermont chocolate, it's available in limited quantities at Henderson's Cafe at UVM. You can also find it at Three Squares Cafe in Vergennes and at Vermont Food and Gifts in Winooski. Local food is a popular topic all across Vermont. When we talk local, we're always talking fresh. To learn how chocolate can go from the farm to the plate, we sent Across the Fence's Keith Silva on a very sweet assignment.
You can't go wrong with chocolate, so.
As the buttercream bubbles and the truffle centers get rolled in chocolate, it's easy to become a kid in a candy store on a visit to Laughing Moon Chocolates in Stowe.
I like to make a product that I feel good about. If I didn't feel good about my product, I don't think I could do what I do.
Lee Williams believes her chocolate should have one simple goal: make people happy.
Somebody can come into the shop and spend $5 and make somebody's day. And there's not many places where you can go and spend, under $10 for a gift and have it really brighten someone else's day.
When it comes to a box of chocolates or a store-bought candy bar, one word that doesn't usually come to mind is fresh. Williams and her staff are attempting to change that expectation.
We really pride ourselves on our product being probably the freshest that you can get anywhere, and I think that's the difference between our product and any other product that you can buy. The idea of the chocolates as a fresh product, I do think is something relatively new, but it's surprising to me that people don't consider the fact that when they do buy a caramel or a truffle or a buttercream that's sitting in a box, they don't really consider how long it's been sitting there and what's in it. I mean, it has to have milk and dairy of some sort, so I wouldn't want to make that product.
The chocolate that Williams uses comes from a vendor in Massachusetts. And that's about the farthest distance that almost any of the ingredients in a Laughing Moon chocolate have to travel.
We have an opportunity to use ingredients that we source from, you know, a variety of places. Obviously chocolate, like coffee or many other things that we consume daily, is not a local agricultural product. But when you think about like a truffle or a buttercream or a caramel, the ratio of chocolate to center, there's a lot more center than there is chocolate.
Centering on this idea gives Williams a niche that fits in well with Vermont farmers and local food producers.
We decided that we wanted to make that center with as many local ingredients as we possibly could. And so we started asking ourselves about every single product. Can we make it ourselves, and if not, can we source it locally? And at that time, this was about 4 years ago now, we stopped using things like Oreo cookies because we decided that we'd rather have the cookies that we sell baked by a local baker. So we've been having Sweet Crunch Bake Shop in Hyde Park bake chocolate, vanilla, and ginger shortbread cookies for us that we dip in chocolate.
I have had a sweet tooth my entire life, so I mean, I'm all about chocolate. I always have been.
Brittany Hickman is in charge of making all the sweets and treats at Laughing Moon Chocolates.
Everything's done by hand, so each piece is going to look different, and you can tell it wasn't machine made because everything has a little bit of a different shape to it. So I think our first priority is the flavor and the taste of the product we're putting out. We do like it to look nice, but each piece is unique, and we're happy to have that.
Hickman's time making truffles and other handmade chocolate dip delicacies gives her perspective about where the food she makes comes from.
When you think of it just as the chocolate, but when you're thinking about everything else that goes into it, you know, your centers and things like that, that's when I think you can start to understand how chocolate is local.
Along with using Vermont-produced products like cookies, granola, and peanut butter, Williams tries to find ways to give all her products a local flavor.
We use Vermont honey to candy fruit often. We have a lot of products that we make using more agricultural products, like we use Zach Woods herbs to steep into the cream for our peppermint truffles and our basil and black pepper truffles.
This is peppermint that I'm bagging for Laughing Moon Chocolates.
Jeff Carpenter owns Zach Woods Herb Farm in Hyde Park. The farm is the largest operation of its kind in Vermont. Carpenter specializes in growing certified organic, medicinal, and botanic herbs.
It's great to know that our herbs are going into chocolate. It's one of those things I never really thought that it's a product that I never thought our herbs would end up in, but it's really exciting.
Carpenter appreciates having Williams as a customer, but more so as a friend and as a member of his community.
Lee has a choice. She could either, buy these products, peppermint and basil, from a large, wholesaler in the Midwest or something, but she's really focused on high quality, and she saw a good opportunity to buy local certified organic products that would really improve the quality of her products. So she started buying herbs from us. We really value the relationship we have with Lee and Laughing Moon because it's such a local relationship. We're keeping the money right in our community here, right in Lamoille County. It's a very cooperative relationship, and it's been enjoyable.
I love working in a collaboration with other business owners, and I've seen a lot of people do that successfully and have a really great fun time doing it, and that's sort of where we've taken it.
Laughing Moon Chocolates is a taste of Vermont, a business where fresh and local really mean fresh and local. In Stowe, I'm Keith Silva with Across the Fence.
Laughing Moon offers a free chocolate dipping demonstration daily at 2 p.m. It also has workshops and activities for families to make their own chocolates. Laughing Moon Chocolates is located on Main Street in Stowe. For more information, call 802 888-253-9591 or visit them on the web at laughingmoonchocolates.com. Laughing Moon also sells the products they buy, like Zach's Woods Herbs. You can contact the farm directly at 802-888-7278. The website is zachwoodsherbs.com. That's our program for today. I'm Judy Simpson. I'll see you again next time on Across the Fence.